I'm Extor and I'm a GM player.
I'm Pi, and I'm a GM player.
I'm Flopsy, and I'm a GM player.
I'm Gio, and I'm a GM player.
I'm Pyre Walnut, and I'm a GM player.
I'm Sen, and I'm a GM player.
I'm Hot Reddit Mod, and I'm a GM player.
Before we hop into the video, I just want to let you guys know that you could sign up for these game shows or any other game show I do by joining my Discord server. I also host all of these game shows live on my Twitch, in addition to also streaming ranked and even playing other games sometimes too. I'd love to see you at my Twitch stream sometimes, so come on over and say hi. Anyways, enjoy the video and feel free to play along in the comments section.
I want to ask what everyone's least favorite ability is to play against. I guess going from right to left. So starting with Extor.
Least favorite ability, well, could be multiple things, I guess. But I guess would be Suzu. Play against would be Suzu. To get played into, different thing, but...
For me, probably, it'd be like Resurrect, ironically. I just hate going against it.
For me, it's definitely either Suzu or Sombra hack.
I personally hate Suzu because of how it made the game more. The ability trait is very out of whack in my opinion compared to like other abilities that are similar, like Baptiste Immortality.
Everyone's said Suzu so far, but if we're talking just about like personal annoyance, I think it's got to be Venture Dig right now.
Mine has to be either Sleep or Hook, because it's just so annoying being CC'd.
Mine's got to be Juno's lock-on missile. That is very annoying to play against. It's Shades of Season 1 cast nade. The way it goes around the walls and does 75 damage for free.
Another like annoying ability right now is definitely like Diva Matrix, because that character is like really oppressive, and she's like in every game, like every ranked game right now. She's just like hard like meta, and you know they gotta nerf that character.
I don't think he's that bad.
You don't think?
No, I think Winston was better before he was nerfed.
I mean, I think you're not wrong. Like Winston is like a really good tank. It's like I feel like those are like the two most played characters right now in terms of tank. But like Diva, she just eats everything, and the Matrix is just she's just really oppressive. But I also have a question I wanted to ask. Do you guys get OWCS or like collegiate contenders players in your games? And if so, like who could you name like one or two? I'll start off. I'll say Doomed, he's a timeless eternal DPS, and Ashenix, he's like another tank. Yeah, Extor, do you have any recognizable names?
Yeah, myself, I'm a collegiate player. Paco, Zinnia, Romani, Dash, Zerocious. Those are all my teammates.
I've gotten like many players like that. I've gotten like Super, who else? Hydron, a billion like contenders players or like collegiate. I gotten like Cal. I can definitely name like a bunch, but yeah, those are some I've gotten.
Some players I've gotten in my lobbies. One from yesterday was a lobby GM5 to GM1, PGE Seeker, Wamaimane, I think that's how you say it. And myself, I'm an OWCS and collegiate player.
Some of the two that I think of are Hinged. He plays for ECSD, and also what was it? I also have played against Super.
This is so embarrassing because I didn't expect like everybody on this side to say that they did, but I don't think I have. I placed GM this season actually, and I just haven't had the time to run into any of them.
So I play EU, so I usually go against LH Cloudy and Hattie. I think they're OWCS players.
I want to ask, what do you think was the most oppressive meta in the game, regardless of whether it's been in Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2, and why you think that?
I never played Goats. That was like kind of when I took my break in Overwatch 1, but right after that, Double Shield was pretty bad to play, and I was a DPS player at the time, so it was no fun. But I'd say that was the most oppressive meta I've ever played in.
I agree with Gio. For me, it was Double Shield. I think it was like the skill, like ceiling and floor. It was just, I mean, it was really just a lot of like the same, and it was just like really boring, not really interactive at all. And it was like if you weren't playing Double Shield on like almost any map, it was kind of just like it was just not it wasn't like a lot of opportunity to show skill or not.
Your time is up. How do you guys feel after round 1?
I know who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is.
All right.
I think I know.
All right.
Yeah? Okay.
I voted for Sen because he couldn't name any collegiate or WCS player.
I don't really have much to go off of, and I don't really think this means much because you did say he didn't have a lot of time, but yeah, same reason for Extor.
Same reason he couldn't name any any collegiate or OWCS player.
I voted Flopsy because I think I liked everyone else's answers a little more than theirs, but nothing too personal.
I voted for Pi mainly because of the hack comment. The hack comment I think is interesting, but I can see why everyone thinks Sen as well.
I voted for Hot Reddit mod just because I don't know a lot about EU, and I felt like this was a pretty safe bet since everyone else seemed pretty solid.
I voted for Sen because he couldn't name anyone.
All right. Then take a step forward. You have been eliminated. Is there anything you want to say?
I don't think hack is like the worst cooldown in the game, but I play a lot of like mobility characters like Tracer, and like Sojourn, and a lot of and Sombra can just like shut that down by holding down a button. And for me, because Tracer is like really strong, especially, and so like when all of a Sombra needs to do is just hold like hack in the back line and just hack you, it's just like annoying. That's just why I said Sombra. Just to clear things up.
Can't you just shoot her though?
I mean, yeah, but like when you're like blinking in their back line, trying to one clip like 2 people, it's like, you can't really. And she just like invis. It's just a little,
Shouldn't you already
Can't
be
really
ready
do much
for that
sometimes.
though?
I mean,
if you see
you're gonna
Sombra there, I would think that you would be ready to like.
I mean,
be
you
able
can,
to,
but like
do
if
that.
you're like diving, right, and like you jump on someone, or you blink into someone, and you're focused on like the dive target, we could say, if we're playing dive, and all the Sombra needs to do is hold LT, and like, yeah, I could like quickly shoot her once and then go back to the main target, but it's just like,
Oh, it's because you're
it's a lot.
console.
It's a lot. And I guess, yeah, it could also be because I'm console.
As someone who used to play on console, that's a very interesting take. Maybe it's how the game has changed because I used to play on console in Overwatch 1, but interesting.
What is the hardest role to play right now in this meta? And I'm looking for a specific role. So, main tank, off tank, flex support, main support, for example. What's everyone's thought on that? My thought is hit scan right now.
My thought is tank, specifically like ground tanks, like rush tanks, off tank stuff. Anything that's not dive right now is a little hard to run, but it's runnable. But arguably it's still harder than anything else.
I'd honestly say like for hardest, do you just want like in that role, or do you just want like a role in general?
Just a role in general, I guess.
I'd say like DPS in general, just because like I won't say easy for the other 2 roles, but I feel like they're just both, depending on if you like counter pick mainly, they can just be kind of one-dimensional, and the other roles I feel like are more counter pick dependent. I feel like.
Time is up. How do you guys feel about round 2?
Need more time.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of stuff out of that, but I think, I don't know, feels fine.
I voted for Flopsy. It was gonna be my second pick for the first vote, and I didn't really get too much from the last conversation we had.
I voted for Gila. I didn't really have, it was kind of just random. I didn't really have any reason. I didn't have much to go off of. And the other answers didn't seem like anything weird.
I voted Flopsy, kind of more off like round 1 things, but I don't know, just a gut feeling.
I voted Flopsy because the answer to my question about the hardest role to play felt kind of lazy and kind of echoed what I said. And then when they said that DPS is a non-counter pick role, I felt that was pretty wrong. I think there's a lot of counter picking in the DPS role, more than support especially. So I voted for that reason.
I voted for Pi, and I should feel bad, but because I voted for Pi because I voted for Pi in the first round, but even though I get that like Pi is on console, there's still more. Like, if you see that they have the Sombra, like, you should be able to expect, like, hey, I gotta be more careful and whatnot. Even if you're going on dive, like, that's something that should be thought about. Like especially if you're playing up in, like, GM.
I voted for Pi because I feel like Tracer has a pretty good matchup against Sombra. So, that's a little bit suspicious.
Flopsy, take a step forward. You have been eliminated. Is there anything you'd like to say?
My grandma ain't gonna come back from the dead. 'Cause of y'all. She would have been revived by now.
Bye, Grandma!
Bye.
If you think that you have voted out the imposter and you would like to end the game now, go ahead and take 1 step forward. All right, we keep playing.
The question I want to ask is, what are your thoughts on the recent Tracer and Winston nerfs, specifically for like the dive? Like, what are your thoughts on like that dive kind of nerf?
I think it's kind of ridiculous that the only nerf that Diva has gotten was her matrix by 0.5 only. And I kind of understand the Tracer one, you know, like it was like a little overtuned. Maybe she did a little too much damage. She's still like pretty good. Like Tracer has always been good. No matter what rank, high rank or whatever, she's always been a viable character. And as for Winston, I feel like, I don't know. I think they really are targeting like the wrong characters, because I feel like there's a difference between oppressive and like strong, if that makes sense. Like Diva is oppressive, but Winston like just takes more skill.
I think that I don't really mind the changes that much. If that's like, I'm kind of neutral on that. I know this is an overthink, but I'm neutral. I would say that the Winston change is more of just like a fine-tuned thing where I don't think it makes that much of a difference to his overall kit, you know, especially because when you undive, you're trying to get in and get out pretty quickly. So that extra 5 damage per second or whatever it was is not gonna make a big difference. And then Tracer's just hard to balance, because in high ranks she's gonna be good no matter what. No matter, like, I mean, you can take her damage all the way down and she won't be good, but in her state she'll be good no matter what. Where if you nerf her too much, then she'll be really bad in lower ranks. So it's really hard to balance her. That's my opinion on that.
Specifically for the Winston nerf, granted, I'm like biased. I play Mercy, and like honestly, like Tracer can like, I don't know, like slip on a rock, I guess. But also like for the Winston nerf, I think especially because of how tank has to be so. You're competing for one or the other tank. There's a reason why that like Ryan is very outclassed compared to the other tanks like Ram, and like even Sigma can even be like outclassing him in some scenarios. Like the fact that they nerfed Winston before Diva like just makes like, specifically when people go for the Winston v Diva matchup, it just makes Diva just all the much better in my opinion. And it's a bit of a yikes in my opinion.
The Tracer nerf was a good nerf because she still played a lot in the higher ranks, and like she's still good. And I think the Winston nerf was also fair because he did feel like a little bit too good.
I know some people mentioned like what they do, but do like people scrim, and if so, or like do we play on teams? If so, I just want to know.
I recently just quit my team actually to focus on collegiate, but I was just on a team in the Face It League Expert Division where we went, I think it was 7-5. Don't quote me on that. We didn't do too great, but that's the last team I was on, and we scrimmed about 4 times a week.
I don't compete anymore, but I used to play in CGL, GM tier and open tier. CGL is like a console gaming league. It's like the OWCS version of console, and since I'm console, I can't participate in OWCS. But when I used to compete in open tier, which is like the highest, it's open to like PC, any rank, whatever, and it's like the one with like the big prize pool. And when I did, I used to scrim 4 days a week in scrim blocks, which are like two hours long.
I just finished a collegiate run for UCI. Made like top 8 in the fall, and I've been taking my major. I just graduated, so I've just been focusing on that. So I've only scrimmed with like I've only rang for like Miku fan club for a bit, and whatever team needs a ringer.
I used to compete in CGL when I used to play on console. I've done some open division, but because of school and whatnot, I've not been actively competing. But now I coach for a small college.
Time is up.
I voted for Walnut because the answer for the competition question was like very the same as Pie's answer.
I voted Hot Reddit mod, kind of just because they didn't get to talk, but like I also think we messed up, and I think we might all be GM here. I trust everyone that I'm standing next to.
I voted for Pyro Walnut, kind of for the same reason Xtor. The last thing they competed in was Open Division apparently in CGL, and that's a very long time ago. So I feel like maybe we have someone who might have been GM a long time ago, but is no longer GM, and that's kind of maybe where we're at here. That was my thinking.
I voted for Pi. We're going 3 for 3, I guess. To be honest, everyone else is like, maybe not like alibis is the answer, but like their responses were, in my opinion, way better. And comparing it to the 3 rounds, I thought it was better than Pie's. So Pie was also on the chopping block again.
I voted for Pirate Walnut because I don't know. I just don't really trust Mercy players.
All right, Pirate Walnut, take one step forward. You have been eliminated. What do you have to say? Damn. All right. All right, for the 4 people left, if you think you have voted out the imposter and you would like to end the game now, go ahead and take one step forward. All right, in the event of a tie, we keep playing.
Gio, Extor, I think one of you guys should
Yeah, you know what? That's
say
a
why. I think
That's a
you
good
should
point.
say why you think one of us, or
Or
Yeah.
are we not asking questions? Or what are we doing?
I'll say why I don't want to.
yeah. That's I want to find out why we. I want to find out why we
I-
in the game there.
I think I might have made a lapse in judgment on the last vote, and going over everyone's answers in my head, Pie's answer just felt a little strange to me. He was kind of like explaining like what a scrim block was. And I feel like if you're GM, like we should know that anyway. He said
Well,
like
yeah,
2 hour
yes.
type thing. So that's why I
was
wanted
like-
to stay one more round. But I don't really have another question on me right now, so I'm gonna head
I mean,
back here.
I just wanted to, show, just to let you guys know that I know what a scrim block was.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So I was like very 50-50 on you, Pi, because I don't know, it feels like you're trying to cover up that you are not GM. Like you're talking a lot, but that's also just like people's natures and stuff.
Also, I had to play a little defense on like round 2 when Pirate Walnut voted me. That's why I'm.
It's fair. Yeah, I was just very 50-50, so I just said, okay, it's better safe than sorry.
I think Extor said where he played for, I think UCI he said, but we definitely didn't hear from Hot Random Out on that one. So I want to ask, if you played for a team, what was the name? And then Pi, also, what was the name of your CGL?
For sure.
I only played in oh no, I forgot. It was a really long time ago. I don't scrim anymore. I only play ranked. It was open division, yeah.
When I competed in CGL, I played for a team I played with multiple teams: Tayo, Tribulation, and Light Esports.
All right, I guess I'm liable to answer the question as well. Shout out to Hive Mind Kittens. You know who you are.
I got a question. I guess something simple. Maybe we should ask at the beginning. But when did you guys first hit GM? And have you guys been in and out of GM, or have you been consecutively in GM? I first hit GM Overwatch 1 season 24 when Ash could one shot and she was just broken, especially on console. You used to get a mercy pocket, aim assist, bro, just one tap. You just run lobbies. And then since then I've never not been GM, and I've also hit GM on multiple roles.
Hit GM in season 29. It was 433, and I've been consistent GM since then.
I had hit GM first in season 31, and I peaked in Overwatch 1 in season 36 at 4200, and I've been consistently GM ever since.
So I hit GM in season 7 in Overwatch 1, and just been GM ever since. I played Tracer and Genji before the release of Brig.
Your time is up.
I voted for Reddit mod because the answers are very vague and uncertain, and should know what teams you played for at least.
Yeah. When we asked what team, or when I asked what teams we played on, Reddit mod just couldn't give an answer. So unfortunately, that's where my judgment came from.
Yeah, I voted for Reddit Mod as well, because at first I was on Pi, but he seemed to know all the teams he was on, and Reddit Mod forgot the name of Open Division, which is a stark contrast to what, to everyone else here.
I voted for Pi because he wanted to end the game, and he also went into a lot of detail about scrim blocks.
Hot Reddit Mod, you have been eliminated. Do you have anything you want to say?
You guys are making a mistake.
There are 3 people remaining. If you are confident that you have voted out the imposter and you would like to end the game now, go ahead and take a step forward. All right, majority rules, which means the game is now ended. Before we continue and see if you guys won or not, I want to hear from each of you. So you guys voted out a lot of people. Who do you think it actually is now after 45 rounds of playing?
Like definitively who I think it is?
Yeah, so you think you Sorry, yeah, so you think you voted out the imposter. So out of all the people you guys voted out, who do you think it is?
I'd have been who's the second person we voted out?
Flopsy.
Flopsy, yeah.
I think it was Flopsy.
I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna say it was Hot Reddit Mod and we did a really bad job at the beginning of this game. That's my guess.
So you guys voted out more people than you kept in, which is kind of crazy. Something I noticed is that the first people to go were all the main support players. I wonder what that says about like some some stereotypes and some like kind of biases.
Mercy, red flag.
All right, we're gonna see if you guys got the imposter correct, and the remaining players think that it's between Flopsy or Hot Reddit Mod. So if you are correct, then I guess we'll see if it was one of them. All right, let's see. 3, 2, 1. You got it. So who is the imposter?
Oh my god.
Let's see. They'll load back in.
Oh my god.
It was Sen.
Wait, Sen?
Bruh.
We went for 4 rounds in fighting.
We got out.
So you got the imposter out the first round, and then you guys proceeded to go 4 more rounds. Sen, you got voted out first round. What were you thinking? How are you feeling?
I feel like I did really good with the venture question. Like I was definitely in my zone. I was talking about the game. I honestly thought they would ask me a lot more questions about Overwatch, the game, like the competitive season, like how the game is right now. And my crutch was supposed to be that I was a Grandmaster who placed this season. So it wasn't like I wasn't supposed to know a lot. I wasn't supposed to be super into like collegiates or the championship series, which like unfortunately like that was one of the questions in the first round. And I feel like I definitely could have made it a lot further because I had answers for a lot of the questions they asked later on, but definitely not that.
And did you come into this like prepared with any sort of story or like studying or anything like that you kind of prepped yourself to do better? I
was going to go with a story of like, because it's kind of unlikely for someone who like started to playing in Overwatch 2 and placed this season to be Grandmaster, and it's like definitely out of the ordinary for the players that we have, the Grandmasters. My original story was that like, you know, I was an ascendant in Valorant, and then I switched over to Overwatch and just moved very far away from the DPS role because I was kind of tired of fragging out and whatnot. And that's why I was on support. And also because support is one of the easiest roles to like climb ladder with. So it was a lot more believable to be like a GM this season, especially when like Lucio and Dive and Deathball is so strong.
And then my last question, so you got voted out first round, but then I feel like it got kind of heated in the following round. So people like accusing each other and sussing each other. What did you think about that? Knowing that you were the imposter, but watching all the GM players kind of go against each other.
It made me feel really good about myself. I felt like, especially because like I was imagining myself in that situation, dogpiling Pie or Hot Reddit Mod, and I kind of felt like reaffirmed in my original choice to accuse Hot Reddit Mod when I had all the fire on me. I felt like they had a lot going on with them, and I feel like they were very concerned with like the players external to Overwatch, so how they scrimmed, how they like competed instead of just like asking them questions that like were about Overwatch, which is definitely like a great learning experience for what it's like to play at like that high of an elo, because at that point I think climbing lap doesn't really matter anymore.
All right, thank you, Sun. Hi, Flopsy.
Hi.
So you were voted out second. What were your thoughts when you were voted out?
You know, I felt like honestly like brokenhearted, betrayed. I became emo. No, but honestly though, I was kind of like expecting it, because when it came to the question, like naming contenders players or like OWCS players, I like knew I ran into a bunch, but I kind of like got like flustered. So I just named like the ones, but they were just slowly coming to my mind. Like it just, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, in the Overwatch CS question, when the first thing you said was super TF, I knew it was over for you. I knew it. I was like, that is the most generic, like, bronze player could have come up with that answer ever. And I was like, Flopsy, no.
No, okay, so you want to know what's really funny?
Yeah.
I still have encountered a bunch of ODWCS players and like content, yeah, like all that of sorts, collegiate, but I've actually never encountered super, and I just lied because I know that like would be the first thing. But I guess that caused my downfall.
And then at the end of the game, when I asked the remaining players who they think out of all the people voted out was the actual imposter, 2/3 of them said you. How did that make you feel?
I feel like they didn't have a lot to go off of, but I guess it makes sense considering like 2 of my answers probably weren't the strongest. In fact, maybe it was like me hitting Resurrect. Like you could argue it was a skill issue, but like, I mean, sometimes it is, but I feel like Resurrect sometimes can just go off for like free. And I just hate going against it, even like as a Mercy myself.
All right. Thank you, Flopsy. So you were voted out every single round by Pirate Walnut, who, I don't know if they remember this, but they were the gym leader for the tournament that you guys played in, that you won, if I remember correctly.
You better let me say something after this.
So I feel like Pirate Walnut should have known that you were not the imposter. How did that make you feel?
Why are we throwing? So when Pirate Walnut like sussed me, I like my heart dropped. I felt like betrayed, stabbed in my back. Like I thought me and Pirate Walnut were like this. Like I won the tournament for our team, and for Pirate Walnut to disrespect me like that, I took it personal. But that's still my gym leader, you know.
At the end of it all, you ended up coming out. You lasted until the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top.
So despite all the susses on you, you ended up making it out to the end. Did you think that you were definitely going to get voted out?
I was scared. I think I almost got out by like 1 vote. I think on like the 2nd round or something. But I don't know. I felt like I thought I was low-key cooked. I thought I was low-key cooked, but I think I came in clutch, and so did my teammates. Started believing me.
Pirate Walnut, did you want to add on?
I have one thing to say. One, to be honest, I did not remember Pi's rank. Mostly because I know that Pi was on the team that won the Tralia, but also like the ranks were not like all GM, all whatnot, so I kind of forgot, to be honest. But in my opinion, I think the thing that like sussed me out most of Pi was just like because I'm like a former console player. There's just some stuff that is just like, maybe it's like because I haven't played console in like a couple of years, but like there's some of his responses were very suspicious in my opinion.
2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I play easy mode, and I play to win. I love to die, and I like to BRB. All systems checked out. Group up with me. 2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me. You